It's a Victory Tuesday here on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, greatly appreciate everybody for making today's show a part of your day. And there's a lot to talk about after the Niners' absolutely dominant performance against the Arizona Cardinals as they were shooting birds all throughout the night in Mexico City, coming through with their best all-around performance up to this point in the 2022 season to get that record to 6-4. Today's show is presented by ButcherBox. Really excited to tell you about ButcherBox and what they have to offer. This Black Friday, they're offering our viewers and our listeners one of the best steak deals. Get 2 10-ounce ribeyes free in every box for an entire year when you join, plus an additional $10 off. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily and use the code NFL Daily. That's free ribeyes for a year plus $10 off at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily with the code NFL Daily. They take the guesswork out of finding high quality meat and seafood that you can trust. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood, humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. Get just what you want delivered to your doorstep as well. Free shipping for the continental United States with no surprise fees. Choose from a variety of box plan options from curated to customized and change your plan whenever you want. A lot of super chats are already piling in. That tells me one thing, that a lot of people are really excited about this football team following that win last night, putting up the most points that they've scored so far this season. And to do it against the Arizona Cardinals, and to do it in front of a massive following and fan base in Mexico City, where more than 80% of the fans were Niner fans, that made it special as well. So if you loved what you saw from the Niners last night, then I want you to type me right now in the comment section. How could you not be pumped up about what San Francisco displayed yesterday? It was magical. Byron McCants, Monique, Jason Ells, Rick Nyers, Larry Edwards. By the way, happy early Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates. Yo, a.k.a. me from Words of Wisdom. Fluffy Ninja's in the house. Darius Daniels, Mike Concha, always riding with us. David Blanco, Mario Jimenez, Danny Ramos, Russell Hill. We appreciate all of you for supporting the show. Those super chats that are coming in, let's start to break them down here and read them. Is it too early to think about the draft? No, Tisha. It's never too early to think about the draft. If you think about how high-quality businesses operate, they're always looking into the future. So it's not too early to start talking about the draft, thinking about the draft, because the Niners have a lot of scouts nationally who have already been doing their due diligence on some of these 2023 NFL draft prospects. Now, for Kyle Shanahan, he's obviously focused here on 2022 and trying to win a Super Bowl. $5 from Mike Concho. I got 5 on it. And I'm excited to tell you about our Super Chat menu for today. It's going to be simple. We're going to keep it light. Let's talk about it right now, because a lot of you who watched our watch party last night, you saw that we had a really good time. Our Super Chat challenge for our Tuesday live show in the lead up to Thanksgiving. Let's continue that momentum in the celebration from Monday Night Football. If we get to $100 in total Super Chats by the end of our third segment, because we have 4 segments coming up, I'm going to put on this Niners Nacho Libre mask for our last segment of the show and do the entire segment in the mask. That's what I'll do for y'all. If you joined our watch party last night, you saw that myself and George Kittle, we looked about the same, and that was a lot of fun as well. Shout out where you watched the game from last night, a.k.a. where are you watching from? That's our next question for the audience. A Mexico City victory. Where were you last night, and where are you right now? Let us know. We'll start giving you some shout outs. Tisha, when are you going to do a mock draft? Well, usually mock drafts are done for teams that have awful records, have no shot of making the playoffs. Right now, the 49ers in the thick of the NFC playoff picture, as we're about to show you down the road in a few minutes. So we're not going to do a mock draft for a little while, but a little bit down the road, if the Niners crater and they fall apart at the end of the regular season, that's something that we'll start to look ahead at. But maybe, I can't rule it out, that we'll start talking about some draft prospects. The only difficult thing for the Niners, they don't have a lot of picks. this upcoming draft, especially in the first and second rounds. So that could be an issue breaking down some of those draft prospects. All right, where'd you watch the game last night? Devone. Salute, Chase and fam. I was watching at work. I'm at work now. I'm at work too. Rick Nyers is in the house. California from Kofefi. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Chase, where can we get that fly sweatshirt that you were wearing yesterday? Ultra Game. Ultra Game. I can get you the links maybe a little bit later. It's a lot to do right now. But Ultra Game is where I got that hoodie. You can get it on Ultra Game as well. Jose, Baytown, Texas. From Redwood City, California. Manuel, Williams, California. Byron McCants, Da Beach. That's nice. Words of Wisdom, Boise, Idaho. San Jose from Thunder. Baby Cakes, California, Blaze Up. Philadelphia, PA from Darius Daniels. Faulty Cal from Griffin, Georgia. Jason Els from Fort Worth, Texas. Let's go. All right, can the Niners win the NFC? I want to hear from everybody tuned in right now. Can the San Francisco 49ers win the NFC? W for hell yeah, they can win it. L for no, they're going to lose it. They're not that good. I want to hear from all of you watching right now with nearly 200 people watching live. Can San Francisco win the NFC? I think they can. Rick Nyers is with me. This is a team that played complimentary football last night in all phases. If they play like that, going to be difficult to beat. William Burns, yes. Mike Concho, yes. Byron McCants throwing down that dub. Francisco, dub. Faulty, dub. Josh McBride, dub. Jasmine thinks that the Niners can win the NFC. Mike Concho is there as well. James Spicer, hell effing yeah. Ray, Baby Cakes, Darius, Words of Wisdom, all saying yes. And I believe that to be true as well. Because if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys, I think the Niners match up extremely well against those aforementioned teams. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? We're getting closer to starting our official show. But what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. I hope all of you travel safely. Coming up over the next couple of days, I'm going to be going back to the Philadelphia area and heading back to Pennsylvania early on Thursday morning. Have a flight just after midnight, so I'm taking the red eye so that I can see some family. Don't worry, I'll be back for the watch party on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints for that game late afternoon slot. But what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? At my grandma's house on my dad's side, we're actually going to eat lamb. And I'm really excited for that because I think turkey just gets a little bit old after a while. On Thursday, though, with Kira's family, probably, I imagine, we're going to have some turkey. I love turkey when it's done right, when it's a little bit moist. If it gets too dry, I don't like turkey that's too dry. It's just difficult to eat. You throw some gravy on there with a moist turkey, that's really good. I've always liked sweet potatoes. I always like all the sides. I will eat anything. I am the least picky eater that you will ever meet. Candied yams from How About Them Niners. That's a good one. Everything my mom makes from Josh. Hey, moms, they're our heroes. Willie, fried turkey. Okay, you go a little deep fried turkey. Larry Edwards, fried turkey. Tisha, the kids, EMA beats. Playing like we did last night, which is our full potential. We run the table of the regular season. There really isn't a game that the Niners should lose in the regular season when they play like that last night, but it's the NFL, and oftentimes, teams don't play that well on a daily and weekly basis. Bubbly stuffed mushrooms. I have to try some of those. Green bean casserole from Jeremy. Baby cakes going with some chicken. Okay. Colombo greens from Byron McCants. Mac and cheese, Jose. Can't go wrong with that. Smoked turkey from Camp. It's a good way to make a turkey. Smoked. You could broil it, deep fry. I'm down for it all. I get down in the kitchen sometimes. Sweet potatoes from Dylan. How about them Niners, said Tisha, yo, dirty. What? Tamales from Top of Texas. We get dirty in the chat. Favorite drink, Words of Wisdom. Favorite drink. How about some fall beers for Thanksgiving? Some pumpkin beers? I still think they're in style because I'm not going to move past and go to Christmas when Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet. So I do like some fall beers. All beef burgers from Faulty. Can't go wrong with that. Medium rare. That's how I get them cooked up. Going to be doing a mailbag on today's show, and to get your questions featured on the program and to get them up on the screen for producer Trizzy Trace, use the hashtag 49ers. Better yet, Super Chat. to get your questions and your comments featured on the program. Once again, hashtag 49ers or Super Chat to get on the show. Right now, $9 in Super Chats, which means we are $91 away from our fourth segment, where if we get to $100, I'm putting the mask back on. If you tuned into the watch party last night, it was our good luck mask. Every time I put it on, a touchdown happened, a big play happened. Maybe we can make it happen for our fourth segment. 4 segments to get to on our live show. If we get to $100 in total, I'll wear this for the entire mailbag, and some people who see it after the fact, we'll give them some laughs. If you're ready to start the show, show me. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. We're approaching 200 people watching live, and for those of you just coming in, we're about to officially begin. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Got to get to 50, 75 likes before we start the show. We're at 35 right now. The faithful always shows up and shows out in terms of showing us support by sharing our videos, subscribing to the channel, getting that comment section popping, liking the video, tuning in to our videos, our live shows, and our watch parties. It's no different right now, and there's so much that we're going to talk about on the show today, and I'm excited to really start breaking it all down. We're going to discuss Jimmy Garoppolo's performance. Is George Kittle back? Take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Latest on Odell Beckham Jr. Some major news, rumors, and news items to get to on the program. And if we get to $100 in total Super Chats, we're at $9 right now. I will do an entire segment in the Niners Nacho Libre mask to celebrate that win in Mexico City. All right, we're at 60 likes right now. So with that, let's officially start the program. Continue to hit that thumbs up icon and comment, and we'll catch up here after this upcoming segment. What a performance last night in Mexico City on Monday Night Football as the San Francisco 49ers were outright dominant against the Arizona Cardinals. And in my opinion, they showed on Monday Night Football in front of a worldwide audience, with that game being international, that San Francisco is capable of representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, because they really dominated in all phases. I understand that San Francisco has put together 3 consecutive wins against inferior opponents, but it's the eye test that they're passing right now. And with the way that this offense is playing, since the acquisition of Christian McCaffrey as one of the more high-powered offenses in the National Football League, if they continue to find their footing and have that momentum, no team is going to want to take on the Niners come playoff time. So if you love seeing San Francisco dominate and end the Arizona Cardinals season, it's a Victory Tuesday. I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And we have to start here. Give credit where credit is due. Jimmy Garoppolo, folks, is balling right now, and whether you like him or you're a Jimmy G detractor, you have to admit that right now he's playing really good football and some of the best football of his career. Over the last 3-4 games, I think that Garoppolo has gone on one of the best stretches that we've ever seen in the Bay Area for him, respectively. And what I like about Jimmy G right now over the last month, he's playing clean football and not turning the ball over. He has a really good feel for the pocket. We've seen him have those instincts where he sees the pocket break down and he's able to make a play somewhere downfield. 2 weeks ago, pocket broke down, rolled to his right, found Ray McCloud. Last night, a couple of instances in which the pocket broke down. The play designs from Kyle Shanahan were elite, so I like that pocket feel from Garoppolo. He just seems to be playing like a confident quarterback right now. He's playing the role of distributor, and that's what he has to do. Be an old school point guard. Be that pass first point guard who distributes the football and gets the rock out to all of the weapons who are littered across the field, and rely on Kyle Shanahan to draw up some of those great plays. He's accurate, decisive, and he's been one of the best and most elite quarterbacks on the money downs. Jimmy G nearly flawless on third downs, and that really bodes well come playoff time. Last night against Arizona, is Cliff Kingsbury now on the hot seat? Probably. They fired their offensive line coach after he ran into an incident on Saturday night in Mexico City. That franchise in shambles right now, and Garoppolo helped further that against a divisional rival. 20 of 29, 228, a near perfect quarterback rating of 131.9, and he threw 4 touchdowns through the air. 2 to George Kittle, 2 to Brandon Aiyuk, and that caused his teammates to get jacked up about what Jimmy G did. And Deebo Samuel saying this after the game, actually on Tuesday morning, Himmy Guap. Well, right now, over the last month, Jimmy Garoppolo has been Himothy with the way that he's playing. And not many people out there can pull off a pink suit outside of Jimmy GQ. You know that saying out there, you look good, you feel good, and right now, Jimmy G is looking good like he always does, and he's feeling good on the football field as well, playing very good football for this Niners offense. And one of his new teammates, Christian McCaffrey, did talk about that after the game, saying, Jimmy G, such a talented quarterback. He doesn't get enough credit in my eyes. He's a great leader. He's super smart. He can make any throw, and he's just a great guy to be around. And over his last 4 games, this is where Jimmy G has really elevated his play. Completion percentage, truly elite at 71.4%. He's thrown for more than 1,000 yards in those 4 games, which is really impressive. 8 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Average yards per completion and attempt, really good for him. 8.45 on the average yards per attempt number, and a quarterback rating over the last month of 115.7. That's up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And last night against Arizona, I went to bed. I thought about this when I woke up. I was like, damn, that was really an impressive performance for San Francisco, because I thought that was a complete team effort. Mitch Wishnowsky was dropping dimes as a punter. Jimmy Garoppolo was playing really well. George Kittle and Deebo Samuel looked like vintage George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. And Brandon Aiyuk, who we're going to talk about around the corner, continues to be one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL, and that Niners defense shut down Arizona. Really, from the second half on, they were just so good. And that's the performance that we've been waiting for. This is why I projected the Niners to have a shot to win the NFC in the lead up to the 2022 season, because they have premier guys on both sides of the ball. Trent Williams answered some of the internet critics with that game and that performance against Arizona, a career best performance against the run and against the pass. He was the highest graded player on the field last night for both teams. And George Kittle had said, look, this is an all-around performance, and I believe that we can make a run. That's exactly what he said. We're definitely capable to go on a run. We just won 3 straight. Our defense has played at an incredibly high level, not giving up points in the second half for multiple games in a row. And our offense, we've scored when we got in the red zone. That was big for us, and that was one of my biggest keys to the game. Turned those drives into 7, not 3. More from Kittle. We made plays outside the red zone. They were explosive last night as well. Scored touchdowns, and that's been huge for us, because that's one thing that's limited us as an offense, and that's put us in bad positions just because we've had to kick so many field goals. And if the Niners are able to be a more efficient offensive unit, that's when they become extremely dangerous. If they're scoring touchdowns and not field goals and capitalizing in the red zone on top of being explosive through the air and on the ground, how do you stop this team when the defense is giving up less than 20 points per game, and they're atop many rankings across the NFL for defenses out there? And what was also pretty notable for the Niners on Monday night, from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, did it feel like San Francisco, everything was working? Well, it was. They scored on 6 of 7 drives over that 3-quarter span from the second to the fourth. If you're subscribed to the Niners Report, this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to type bang bang for the Niner Gang in the comment section. We were able to pick up about 400 new subscribers during our watch party for that game in Mexico City. Up next, 68,000 subscribers. Around the corner, 70K. Let's get there. If you want free daily videos on the Niners, news, rumors, and analysis, lock us in right now. Now, San Francisco 49ers Report is presented by Established Titles. You can save an extra 10% off for the perfect holiday gift if you use the code CHAT at establishedtitles.com/chat. Established Titles, a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, and ladies in English. You can buy these title packs, which give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number right here at this private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and that comes with an official certificate with a crest. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. I am now called Lord Chase Sr. I have land over there, and that comes with a plaque. And if the first 200 people purchasing a title pack do it right away, you'll be within a few minutes of walking distance from me If you want to become a lord or a lady, then we can build our own 49ers Report kingdom. This is the best and most unique last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive holiday sale with Black Friday coming up with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use the code CHAT at establishedtitles.com/chat, you save an extra 10% off. We will put that link in the comment section. We'll put that link in the description of this video. More takeaways from this game on Monday Night Football. Signs of life from some key players on this roster who are making a lot of money right now and into the future. Of course, it's Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. They had been underwhelming up to this point, but both popped with vintage play. Let's first talk about Kittle here. A lot of talk about him being washed. I didn't think that was the case because when I've watched him this year, he's still bulldozing defenders. He's still picking up yards after the catch. The only issue with him, he's been used primarily as a blocker and not enough in the pass game, but Kyle Shanahan relied on him as a playmaker last night, and he was able to create some separation and pick up yards after the catch, looking like that old school Kittle, the best all-around tight end in the NFL. 4 catches, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 targets, and both of his touchdowns highlight reel worthy. As for Deebo Samuel, had a lot of production catching the football with 7 grabs for 59. His touchdown coming on that reverse play in which he displayed that acceleration that made him truly special last year, that made him a first-team All-Pro. And that's what you want to see coming down this stretch run from key players like George Kittle as well as Deebo Samuel. If they play at an All-Pro caliber level, on top of Christian McCaffrey being that Swiss Army knife, and Brandon Aiyuk having a breakout performance, and Spencer Burford, Aaron Banks not surrendering a sack this year, as well as Trent Williams continuing to play just dominant football at that left tackle spot on top of the defense. And if the special teams gets better, this team going to be a straight-up handful. Deebo, whoa! It was great to see him cooking last night in Mexico City. So let me pose this question. It is our poll question for today's show as well as our pinned comment, so make sure you answer that. Can the Niners win the NFC? Let me know. W for win, L for lose. Can San Francisco represent the NFC in Glendale for the Super Bowl coming up in February? Want to round out with this. Aerial attack Aiyuk. It's time to give Brandon Aiyuk his flowers. Brandon Aiyuk is playing excellent football right now. And I've continued to say this over the last couple of weeks, and I hope you've been subscribed to hear it. Brandon Aiyuk is one of the most underrated and under-talked about wide receivers in the NFL. Some people might think this statement is crazy, but from a route running and consistency standpoint, picking up yards after the catch, I would rather have Brandon Aiyuk than CD Lamb. And he's putting together a career year right now. Up to this point in his NFL career, since being a first-round pick out of Arizona State, he's been so close to breaking that 1,000-yard receiving mark threshold. I think this is the year in which he does it, because right now, with the Niners at 6-4, 66 targets, 46 catches, 587 yards, so he's on pace to do just that. He's become the Niners' #1 wide receiver over the last month and change, 5 touchdowns. And over the last 5 games, this is really where Brandon Aiyuk has been playing his best football, and he ain't in the doghouse any longer. 39 catches, 39 targets, 29 catches for 350 yards, 12 yards per catch, and all of his touchdowns coming over the last 5 games, including 2 last night. And this guy continues to be one of the cleanest, one of the more technical route runners in the NFL. On his first touchdown, go back and watch the replay. He crossed the defender and the opposing cornerback up like an Allen Iverson crossover back in the day. It was straight up filthy. Aiyuk has been awesome. If you think he's been awesome, spam the comment section with LGB. Let's go, Brandon. He is certainly making himself some money so far this year. Got to talk about the defense now. We'd be remiss if we didn't. The Niners' pressures against the Cardinals. How about this? Charles Omenihu leading the way with 8 pressures against Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley last night. Nick Bosa had 5. Drake Jackson tallied 2. Jordan Willis, another really good game coming off an injury. Last week I thought he was really good. He was once again pretty solid. Talanoa Hufanga had 1 playing in the box. Fred Warner, Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway, T.Y. McGill, who got activated, and Kerry Hyder also tallying pressures against the Cardinals. Before we hop on out of here for this segment, greatly appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you want to interact with me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a selfie of you watching the show. If you have a question for me, hit me up. I love interacting with the faithful. All right, let's continue to keep our live show moving. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making the Niners Report a part of your day. Brandon Aiyuk has been awesome. So are our subscribers, Jesse Moreno, Lehmans, Tisha, Ernesto, Rated R, Russell Patrick, BK from the Bay, Byron McCants, Wide Receiver Plug, Smooth Groove, Fernando Nahar, Danny, all in the comment section right now. Nearly 400 people watching live, and we're only getting started. 3 segments left. Continue to hang out with us. Mike Huncho, $20 super chat for Lucha Chase. Does anybody know what that means? Oh, for the Nacho Libre mask. Here we go. We're getting there. We're at $33, $100 in total. I'm wearing this for our final segment if we get there. How about them Niners? Yeah, how about them Cowboys? Still frauds. When D'Amico Ryans gets a head coaching job, do you see Vic Fangio coming back to be the DC once again? Him, potentially. Chris Koceric is another name. What's interesting about Vic Fangio, he's actually a consultant with the Philadelphia Eagles this year, and their defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, he might get some interviews for some head coaching jobs across the NFL. So I see it as either Philadelphia, because he's from Pennsylvania, or San Francisco, where he does still have a home in the Bay Area. And he visited the Niners training camp this past summer and would be one of the more sought-after defensive coordinators in the NFL. Super Chat Challenge for our Tuesday live show. Last night, we went hard. Super Chats were absolutely awesome. Today's Super Chat Challenge, something lighter. If we get to $100 in total, I'm going to wear this Niners Nacho Libre mask for our entire 4th segment. We have 2 segments to go until we get there. Let's hope that we can get there. And we just got another 5 from Willie Gerald. Let's pop up that Super Chat here. Willie, everybody type WG in the comment section. Thank you for your donation, Willie. We'll pop it up here in a second. Jason Els, LGB, I see you. Matt, I won something from you, but I couldn't figure out how to claim it. Look, there's a spam account on YouTube that is acting like us. They stole our picture, but if you look at the username, it is not verified. It is not the 49ers Report by Chat Sports, and we are not giving away a PS5. Got to look at the username, not just the picture. That is YouTube spam. Willie, let's keep it real. It was just the Cardinals. Plus, they didn't have Kyler Murray. Let's wait and see where we're at when we play the Miami Dolphins. Willie, I can't wait for that game. That is a game that should get flexed to Sunday Night Football. You have the Saints coming up this week. But against the Miami Dolphins, that game should be on primetime because the entire country wants to watch that football game. To join our show later on for a mailbag or to send in a donation, hashtag 49ers or Super Chat to get featured on the show. That gets us to nearly $40 in Super Chats. We're about 62 away from putting on the Nacho Libre mask for an entire segment, which I'll probably be sweating in this thing, but I'm down to do it for the faithful. Coming up next on the 49ers Report, going to take a look at the NFC playoff picture, where the Niners are in the division, in the NFC, and a playoff path for San Francisco. Make sure you keep it locked with us here on the show. 3 segments left to get to, and it's going down right here on the Niners Report. What's up? Welcome in. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. A loaded show coming your way, and it's all presented by Manscaped. With the holiday season coming up right around the corner, Manscaped is where it's at, and this deal is unbeatable for the best men's grooming products. All you have to do is head to manscaped.com/49ers, enter the promo code 49ers for 20% off and free shipping. We'll tell you more about Manscaped coming up here in just a few moments. First, though, I want to hear from you in the comment section right now because we always appreciate your feedback. Who is the best team in the NFC, and who will claim the number 1 seed in this conference? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles, currently in first place at 9-1? Is it the Minnesota Vikings, who I think are frauds? Could the 49ers win the number 1 seed and get that and claim it to host and have home field advantage throughout the playoffs? Or could the Tampa Bay Buccaneers streak with Tom Brady? Let me know right now in the comment section. Coming your way on today's show, really just to simplify the entire docket, the Niners right now in first place after their dominant and thoroughly impressive win over the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. They are 6-4 with 7 games left to get to. We'll take a look at the remaining schedule. We'll look at the NFC playoff picture and break it all down. So, we first start off with the NFC playoff picture. Here are how things are shaking out right now through 11 weeks and through 10 games for San Francisco. Philadelphia Eagles, 2-game lead on the Minnesota Vikings at 9-1 because they own the tiebreaker. Minnesota in second place in the NFC at 8-2. Because the Niners won and currently own the tiebreaker over the Seattle Seahawks, they vault up to number 3 because they are in first place in the NFC West. Look out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Never count out Tom Brady. They're hot right now, 5-5 coming off the bye. They could have a big stretch run coming up. And then the last 3 teams who would make the playoffs if the season were to end today: Dallas Cowboys after beating the brakes off Minnesota, the New York Giants at 7-3, as the NFC East has been a pleasant surprise this year. The Seattle Seahawks would get in, but as that final wild card spot. Other teams in the mix on the bubble and on the outside looking in: Washington Commanders have won 4 straight. They're 6-5. Atlanta is at 5-6. How about the Detroit Lions? That city would probably go up in flames if they made the playoffs. They're at 4-6. Other teams who are almost dead: Packers at 4-7, New Orleans 4-7, Cardinals at 4-7, the Rams are at 3-7, and then Carolina and Chicago pretty much dead at this point at 3-8. Let's take a look at some teams that the Niners might have to face in the NFL playoffs. And I think that we're on a collision course, and I've continued to say this. An NFC Championship game in Philadelphia, Eagles against the Niners. And if that game were to take place, I think the Niners match up extremely well. And in fact, I think they go on the road, they beat up Philly's offense, and they win. Upcoming games for Philly: they escaped against the Colts, thanks to the heroics from Jalen Hurts. On the road against the New York Giants, Chicago Bears. They play the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football this week. They are currently the number 1 seed, and new addition to Ndamukong Suh, who admitted he almost signed with the Niners because he loves Chris Kosaric going back to Detroit, and Linval Joseph played very, very well. As for Minnesota, upcoming games against the New England Patriots, New York Jets, they got annihilated. They got crushed by Dallas, a final score of 40-3. Kirk Cousins continues to not show up in big-time, prime-time spots. For the 49ers, this upcoming schedule is going to be a little bit difficult. New Orleans Saints coming up this week, Week 13 against the Miami Dolphins. You still have a game left against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a Thursday night game against the Seattle Seahawks, which could determine the winner in the NFC West. And right now the Niners are hot on that 3-game winning streak. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Week 12 on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Week 13 against the New Orleans Saints. And they've been bad with that ground game. But when you have Tom Brady chucking it like he has been, and I don't think he's been the problem this year for Tampa Bay with the weapons that they have, defensive dogs that they have, Super Bowl traits, look out for the Bucs to go streaking here at the end of the season. Dallas Cowboys, that defense is legit. The offense is coming into its own. Dak Prescott, as he's gotten healthier, is starting to play better football. They, like the Niners, play complementary football. But when it comes to the playoffs, they haven't won deep playoff games, nor have they made it to an NFC Championship game in more than a quarter century. I'm not going to think and buy into the Dallas Cowboys until I see it in the playoffs. And if a game were to happen in the playoffs right now between the Cowboys and the Niners, I'm taking Dallas. Upcoming slate for them: New York Giants, Indianapolis Colts. They do have 4 players right now dealing with an illness. And it's going to be a huge game on Thanksgiving Day from Jerry World in Arlington, Texas, as the Dallas Cowboys look to complete the season sweep of the New York Giants. Both of these teams jockeying for position in the NFC East as well as the NFC playoff picture. It's going to be one of the better Thanksgiving games that we've had in recent memory, just because of the desperation level for the Giants to come back off that loss to Detroit, and obviously the Cowboys look to continue to bulk up that record. Before we take a look at the Niners' remaining schedule to see where they might stand at the end of the year in the NFC playoff picture, how many games do you think the 49ers will win at the end of the year? Prior to the year, I had said 10. I might change it to 11 with some of the in-season moves that they've made, let me know a numerical figure down below in the comment section. As I mentioned off the top of the show, today's 49ers Report is presented by Manscaped, the leader in men's grooming tools. 20% off and free shipping for the faithful and the Niner gang and the Niner Empire if you head to manscaped.com/49ers and enter the promo code 49ers. It's never too early to play that holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants, you can make this season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor, or your big drummer boy a favor, and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to Manscaped and use the code 49ers for free shipping and 20% off. The Platinum Package is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. It has everything needed to help you deck the halls from face to balls just in time for mistletoe season. Okay, with that, I love those Manscaped reads, by the way. I use their products. They're great. I'm looking clean below the belt, and you can use that Lawnmower 4.0 all across your body. Niners remaining schedule, Week 12 against the New Orleans Saints. That's a winnable game for San Francisco. Right now, they're about 9.5 point favorites, so the odds makers think that the Niners going to continue to build upon this recent 3-game winning streak and continue that momentum. Week 13. Home game against the Miami Dolphins as Mike McDaniel comes back into town. That's going to be one of the more highly anticipated matchups in Week 13. I hope it's flexed to primetime because a primetime watch party on the Niners Report always gets the juices flowing. 60,000 people join us for Monday Night Football against Arizona. And then the third straight home game for the Niners. Tom Brady and the Bucs, they come back to town as Tom Brady returns to his hometown. He's a NorCal guy, and at that point, the Buccaneers, they're going to be fighting for their playoff lives. And then a huge game on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Thursday Night Football in Week 15. So you play the Bucs, short week. You have to go to Seattle. I understand that the trip is short, but the Seahawks are exceeding everybody's expectations. They, too, are maximizing Geno Smith like the Niners are maximizing Jimmy Garoppolo. They're running the ball really well right now. That defense is playing well. They seem to be fighting under Pete Carroll right now. And then the last 3 games of the 2022 schedule for the Niners. A couple of weeks ago, we were looking at the Commanders as a joke, but under Taylor Heineke, they've played really well. They've won 4 games in a row. Now they're 5-4 in the mix in the NFC playoff picture. Week 17 on the road against the Raiders. I wish I could be there. If anybody wants to pay for my plane ticket and for me to do a watch party out there, hit me up. I'm on Venmo at Chase_Senior. Get in touch with me because faithful to the Bay, the Raiders are not, and that game's going to have a lot of juice. And then the Niners round out the 2022 slate at home against the Arizona Cardinals. That game shouldn't be a problem at all. By the way, Niners 4-0 in the division to start the year. In case you just want to get informed about what's going on in the AFC playoff picture, a lot of you are big football fans out there. Here's how things are shaking out in the AFC. Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 seed at 8-2. Those Miami Dolphins coming to Santa Clara at Levi's Stadium in 2 weeks, sitting pretty right now with 7-3. They are undefeated with Tua Tagovailoa. The Tennessee Titans are a scary team because Mike Vrabel always has his troops ready to play, and they play smash-mouth football on both sides of the ball, led by Derrick Henry offensively, and then that defense is always good. Baltimore Ravens in that 4th spot at 7-3 as well, with the slight edge over the Buffalo Bills, who are also supporting and sporting that 7-3 record. New England Patriots didn't score an offensive touchdown against the Jets, but they didn't need to. Special teams touchdown gave them the win late in that game against the New York Jets. I think Zach Wilson is a fraud. And then the Bengals occupying that last spot in the AFC playoff picture through 11 weeks at 6-4. That is a dangerous team considering what they did last year in the playoffs. Other teams in the mix, the 6-4 Jets, the 5-5 Chargers, and then after that, it's pretty much a dumpster fire in the AFC. Not the depth of teams like we've seen in the NFC. So sound off. Get the good vibes going. We've talked about this here on the show, that the Niners have a golden opportunity with this roster, stockpiled with talent, to make a deep run in the playoffs and to get the Super Bowl. So let's start to get those good vibes flowing right now in the comment section. Just type SB to wish for a Super Bowl. Faithful, we need it. We need it. The quest for 6 is on. I'm going to type those SBs. You rapid fire type those SBs as well. All right, type those SBs in the chat. 500 people watching live, 100 likes. It ain't good enough. If you're enjoying the show and you love the Niners, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video right now. Ernesto, Ellis, CMC, Hi, Day Walker, Fernando, Ryan, Miguel, wide receiver plug, Tisha, Monique, King Mufasa, Danny Ramos, Why Not Yaj, DHA Dukes, SNM, Anton, Joe McIntyre, all type in those SBs. I need a Super Bowl appearance and a Super Bowl win like I need oxygen. Our Super Chat challenge for today's live show, with about 500 people kicking it with us, can we get to $100 in total? If that's the case, I will wear this Nacho Libre mask for an entire segment. But here's the deal. This is our third segment of the show. I want to wear this for our fourth segment. So we have about 10, 15 minutes here to get to $100 in total Super Chats, and I'll wear this for the entire segment. Right now, we have $38 in Super Chats. So simple math shows you we are 62 away from me rocking this. And it worked for our Monday Night Football watch party. A huge Niners dub, 60,000 views, $1,200 in donations. Let's have some fun here on our live show. If you want to join the program, a couple ways for you to get involved. Use the hashtag 49ers, or like I just said, you can Super Chat to also get featured on the program. Hashtag 49ers, better yet, Super Chat to get featured right here on the 49ers Report. Joe McIntyre, love that hoodie chase. Yeah, I was rocking it last night. Shout out to Ultra Game. They are always crushing it. They have some really good gear, NFL merchandise. We did tell you about Ultra Game. By the way, last season, they were a sponsor of the Niners Report. Shout out to them for that awesome hoodie. It definitely is great. All right, coming up next on the show, latest on Odell Beckham Jr. We're going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo and take a look at some upcoming destinations for him. And then our final segment, going to do a mailbag. Open up the floor and take all of your questions. $62 away from me rocking the Nacho Libre mask for an entire segment. Where y'all at? Let's get it, and let's dive into these latest Niners rumors right now. What's up? Welcome in. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, greatly appreciate all of you for making the 49ers Report a part of your day. If you want videos every single day on the Niners, this is your go-to spot. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and lock us in for news, rumors, analysis, live shows, and watch parties that are both informative, entertaining, and educational. What we're discussing on today's program, what is the future of Jimmy Garoppolo? Could he come back to the San Francisco 49ers? Will the Niners re-sign him, considering how well he's been playing over the last 4 or 5 weeks? Or is he going to go somewhere else and bolt in free agency because another team is going to pay him? We'll take a look at some Jimmy G destinations. We'll give you the latest on Odell Beckham Jr., a decision expected very, very soon. And why is Nick Bosa not getting talked about enough to be Defensive Player of the Year for the second consecutive year? Somehow, and I think this is criminal, he does not get enough credit for being one of the most dominant players in the NFL from a national standpoint. First, though, let me ask you this question. Thanksgiving time. What is the best part of Thanksgiving? Family, food, a specific food item, watching football on Thursday. Let me know right now in the comment section. Have some fun with that. Here is the latest on Odell Beckham Jr. Like I said, a decision expected soon, and this is major news that's going to send ripple effects across the NFL because of the player that he is, the team that he might go to, and of course OBJ being extremely marketable. Expected to make that decision as soon as the end of November, and we're already basically at the end of November. So that's why he could ink a contract with the team out there. And could it be San Francisco? They have been rumored to be interested in OBJ. Reportedly plans to visit the Cowboys and Giants after Thanksgiving. So that visit could happen any day now. That was confirmed by Jerry Jones postgame after the Cowboys beat the brakes off the Minnesota Vikings, and the Cowboys and Giants playing on Thanksgiving, and they appear to be the two favorites for the services of Odell Beckham Jr. And as for the player of OBJ, look, we've talked about him ad nauseum here on the show. He'd basically take those slot snaps away from Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings is not the player of OBJ, but he does have a special continuity and camaraderie with Jimmy Garoppolo in between the lines. Here's what Jerry Jones had to say about OBJ. I've just said yes, I will leave it at that. Your statement was after Thanksgiving, and that's the yes. We just don't have that all set up. We're planning to get together. Certainly, it's time for us to sit down. Dak Prescott also said this week and admitted that he is trying to recruit OBJ. He reached out to him and said, we really want you for this stretch run. And OBJ, of course, just lit the Twitter streets on fire last weekend because as the Cowboys were dominating Minnesota, he tweeted this. They went crazy today. They, is he referring to his future teammates? I think he's just doing that for the social media clout. And then after that, he had tweeted this, I miss Saquon Barkley, and that has to do with his former team. So if you ask me right now, I think it's a two-horse race between Dallas and the New York Giants, but the Niners, especially if an injury happens there, could swoop in and sign him. And the players on the Cowboys roster certainly trying to recruit Odell to Dallas. OBJ with that tweet, they went crazy today, and DeMarcus Lawrence tweeted, they sure did. Make the right decision. And then Micah Parsons with the eye emoji said, come on then. Come on, sign with those Cowboys. Even if OBJ goes to the Cowboys, it's still going to be F Dallas day in and day out. But I'll tell you this, from a ratings standpoint, can you imagine how crazy it would be? Niners, Cowboys, NFC Championship game, and what the ratings would be? I think they might break records, and I'm kind of rooting for it low-key. Do the Niners even need OBJ? Play the role of general manager. Get in the shoes of John Lynch right now. Why for yes and for no? I don't think they need him, but after you saw what the Niners did against Arizona on Monday night, could they add yet another playmaker to that offense that right now is humming since the acquisition of Christian McCaffrey, one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL? Now let's pivot gears to Nick Bosa, and then we'll round out with Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't want to miss that latest buzz. Nick Bosa for Defensive Player of the Year. Why does it seem like Nick Bosa is somehow underrated and under-talked about nationally? Do people not realize how dominant this guy is and how he can just change the course of a game in an instant? I think he is the best pure pass rusher in the NFL, both from a physique and physicality standpoint, but him just being a technician at defensive end. And the numbers certainly back that up. He now has 10.5 sacks after another good performance against Arizona. That's second in the NFL. His 50 pressures are second. 25% win rate, which is second in the NFL. First in quarterback hits, which sometimes is more impressive than sack numbers because that shows you the consistent production that he's getting on opposing quarterbacks. And 12 tackles for loss is also really good because that goes to show you that he's playing the ground game as well. And this is a guy who can change the complexion of a game more so than other defenders out there. And it's not like he's playing with stars along the defensive line. Eric Armstead's been out. Javon Kinlaw's been out. Yes, Chris Kocurek does a great job of developing defensive line talent, but none of them are star caliber players. Bosa gets double teamed and held on a snap-in, snap-out basis, yet he's still flexing on him because this guy continues to play dominant football. And by having him on the field, everybody else benefits from number 97, the Bear coming off the edge. You look at the Niners' pressures against the Arizona Cardinals. Charles Omenihu, prior to the NFL trade deadline last year, we're talking about a player who didn't do anything for Houston. Now he has 8 pressures against the Cardinals, and this year, playing edge and defensive tackle, he's been incredibly dominant, and he's earning himself some money. That's the effect of Nick Bosa. Bosa had 5 himself. Drake Jackson, Jordan Willis had 2 each. Talanoa Hufanga with 1. Fred Warner, Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway, T.Y. McGill, Kerry Hyder, all tallying 1. And the development of that defensive line room continues to be spectacular under the aforementioned Kocurek because we're talking about the Givenses of the world, Hassan Ridgeway. T.Y. McGill was activated from the practice squad. Kerry Hyder looked washed last year, yet they're still producing for San Francisco. Arden Key got the bag. You look at some of the players who have really developed under his watch. Today's show, as I mentioned, is presented by ButcherBox. If you head to butcherbox.com/NFL Daily, we have a phenomenal deal that we want to tell you about. This Black Friday, ButcherBox is offering our listeners and viewers of the 49ers Report one of their best steak deals. How about this? Get 2 10-ounce ribeyes for free in every box for an entire year when you join. Plus, you get an additional $10 off if you sign up today at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily and use the code NFL Daily. That's free ribeyes for a year plus $10 off at butcherbox.com/NFL Daily with the code NFL Daily. ButcherBox takes the guesswork out of finding high quality meat and seafood that you can trust. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. Humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones. Get just what you want delivered right to your doorstep. That's the convenience of ButcherBox as well. Free shipping for the continental United States and no surprise fees. Choose from a variety of box plan options from curated to customized and change your plan whenever you want. Enjoy a range of high quality cuts that are really hard to come by at the grocery store at an amazing value. Exclusive member deals so that you can save big on your favorite cuts. Recipe inspiration, guides, tips, and hacks so that you can cook up mouth-watering meals. And for me, I'm approaching 200 straight days of my running streak. I recently completed 100 push-ups for 100 straight days. In order for me to be physically right and recover from our watch parties, I have to eat clean and I have to eat healthy, and I'm able to do that with ButcherBox. One more time, butcherbox.com/NFL Daily. If you want free ribeyes for a year, sign up today and get an additional $10 off. What is Jimmy Garoppolo's future? That's the question that we want to tackle to round out the show today. It's the final year of his contract. He's playing his best football. And what will the Niners do? Will they bring Garoppolo back on a short-term deal to be the team's starting quarterback? Are they worried about Trey Lance's recovery from that ankle injury, or just worried about whether or not he's going to be a quality quarterback in this league? And are they going to put more trust in Jimmy G to be that guy? Or is another team out there going to pay him big-time money in free agency? Because coming up here in just a couple of moments, we're going to take a look at some Jimmy G destinations, and there are several teams who could inquire about his services. Garoppolo really playing the best football of his career right now, and the last 4 games as evidence of that. He's completing 71.4% of his passes, well above league average, for more than 1,000 yards in 4 games. He is usually not a massive yards through the air type of quarterback. He's chucked 8 touchdowns to just 1 pick, yards per attempt 8.4, and his quarterback rating really good, up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League at 115.7. And we've talked about this, right? We continue to have this conversation here on the show. It is not crazy for Jimmy Garoppolo to come back in 2023. Now, if another team out there in free agency wants to give him a huge contract, of course he's going to bolt if the Niners don't give him the average annual value that he's seeking, the long-term financial security that he might be looking for, and he might have an opportunity to go somewhere else to be that team starting quarterback. But if he looks at this roster and he sees that he has an opportunity to win a championship, make some solid coin, and at least be the starting quarterback for the next year or two at a pretty solid average annual value number, and he has Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Jawan Jennings, and a really good offensive line. Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Spencer Burford, the latter of those two haven't given up a sack this year. Is there a better situation out there to bring the best out of Garoppolo as a player than the San Francisco 49ers? Of course, this also comes down to whether or not the Niners have trusted Trey Lance to be a quality quarterback, and if they believe that he can make that full recovery off that ankle injury. But we're going to have the same conversation going into 2023 that we had going into 2022. Are you willing to move forward with a Super Bowl-capable roster with an inexperienced quarterback in Lance, who now, going back to 2019, has made a combined 21 starts at North Dakota State in the NFL with this chock-full Super Bowl-ready roster? Or do you want to go after the more sure thing and bring back Jimmy Garoppolo? It's not crazy if he does come back. But there are teams who are desperate for Garoppolo's services. They just want solid quarterback play. And there are a lot of teams right now that are probably kicking themselves for not trading for Jimmy G. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints, Houston Texans, just to name 4 right off the top. And some of those teams are in my updated Jimmy Garoppolo destinations. Zach Wilson is playing awful football this year. It's not promised that he is going to start here in Week 12 after he was abysmal against the New England Patriots, and the guy only has 4 passing touchdowns this year to 6 picks, and that offense can't do jack through the air. So the Jets with those Robert Saleh connections, could be looking at a quarterback. Jimmy G might be that guy. The other team in New Jersey, the New York Giants, could also be looking for a quarterback upgrade. The Houston Texans, Nick Caserio, who helped draft Garoppolo in New England, is no longer there, but the Texans in need of a QB. Josh McDaniels, Garoppolo's former OC with New England, is now the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And Derek Carr, is he a flake? Is he a fraud? Is he overrated? A lot of those conversations going on right now. The New Orleans Saints are a team that have been starting Andy Dalton all year. Garoppolo is no doubt a quarterback upgrade. Washington Commanders with Taylor Heineke. Is he going to be the long-term answer? I'm not sure. I do know Carson Wentz ain't it. And then some other teams to watch. I think Seattle's going to bring back Geno Smith just because of how well he's playing this year. But the Colts, is Matt Ryan going to return in 2023? He does have money left on his contract. He's played a little bit better the last 2 games since Jeff Saturday got hired, but they could be looking for a QB. Pittsburgh Steelers, if Kenny Pickett isn't the answer, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if Tom Brady retires. So would you re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo? It's our biggest poll question for today's show. Would you bring him back in 2023, knowing you already have Trey Lance on the roster, or you might be able to get a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers? R for re-sign, W for walk. Get that conversation going down below. All right. High five. Bruh, this is not the NBA. Bruh, did you see all of the movement last year in the NFL? It was historic. Did anybody predict that Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, we're all going to get traded? It happens. It happens. And now general managers in the sport are getting more and more aggressive. So again, it happens. Day Walker, he's undecided. And the good thing for the Niners, they don't have to make their decision up right now. Jose, cut your losses and trade Lance. Trey Lance trade rumors are going to heat up after this year if Garoppolo continues to play well. Roderick Bennett with a good one. Jimmy G got us to the NFC Championship game twice, won one of them, and got us to the Super Bowl. If he can do it again and actually win the Super Bowl, we're not getting rid of him. Yeah, if he wins the Super Bowl, you might have to trade Trey Lance just because of the optics of it. Is it best long-term for your franchise? Maybe not, but is Garoppolo playing the best football of his life right now? Yes, he is. All right, we're about to get to our last segment on the show. This is your last opportunity for me to wear the Nacho Libre mask for an entire segment. Now, we did just get another super chat from Daywalker. That's a $10 donation. He said, go Niners. Let's go Niners. Let's go Niners. That gets us $47 away from me wearing the Nacho Libre mask. So I'm going to put on the 2-minute shot clock. If we get 47 more dollars in the next 2 minutes, that's the deadline, then I will wear the Nacho Libre mask for this entire upcoming mailbag. G-Code travels. Aiyuk is like the middle child, always forgotten. B.A. is the best offensive player. Older brothers like Debo and Kittle, CMC Younger, are popular, and they're the popular brothers. G-Code, Trace, I'm going to tell you to put that in the mailbag because I want to explain my thoughts on that. That's fantastic right there. I love that philosophical, unique kind of spin on Brandon Aiyuk. Yeah, you could put that in there as well. Eduardo, Viva los Niners, cabrones. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Vamos Niners. We were in our Mexican bag last night, our Hispanic and Spanish bag last night during that watch party. It was a blast. A lot of people tuned in from Mexico City as well as other countries and places all around the world. All right, mailbag is coming up. We're at 1 minute on our shot clock. $47 away from wearing the Nacho Libre mask for the entire mailbag, taking your questions, but help us out. Get your questions in right now using the hashtag 49ers or Super Chat to get featured on the show. We're going to do that on the back end of this upcoming segment, and then to start, we're going to preview this Week 12 game against the New Orleans Saints. So 40 seconds left on our 2-minute shot clock to get to $100 in Super Chats, and then I'm going to put on this Nacho Libre mask if we get there. If not, I'll wear it after and take a couple of your questions. Ray Sanchez. Jose said cabrones means fuckers. That's hilarious. Hilarious. Well, if I said that, I have no regrets. Let's see. Is Gold Rush saying beg for money for us or somebody else? Yeah, I mean, people contribute to the show. Gold Rush. Oh, he said, your super G word, your channel sucks. Well, let me tell you this, Gold Rush. Let's take a look at the numbers here. 67,000 subscribers. 1 million people watch us every single month. 60,000 people tuned into our watch party last night. And I wish I could show you the revenue that we bring in, which does reach 5 figures. So if you're going to say our channel sucks, come up with some facts, because those are fraudulent statements that you're making, and they just ain't true. $20 from Ted DeWitt. Pay Bosa. Re-sign Jimmy. Yeah, how about that? Another donation coming in. Ted DeWitt, we appreciate that. We'll put that question in our upcoming mailbag as well. We did surpass 2 minutes, so I'm not going to wear the Nacho Libre mask for this upcoming segment, but I will tell you this. I'll rock it after if we get to $100 during this segment. Oh, we got it! Rick Nyers!
Rick. Chase, beg for money. You don't have to.
Your channel sucks. Well, 1,200 in donations last night, another 123, and Rick Nyers, our Super Chat MVP of the entire 2022 season, with the $50 Super Chat. Bang, bang, Niner gang. It's an effing gold rush, as Roderick Bennett just said. Let's go. Thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate your support of the San Francisco 49ers report. So, Trace, we're going to preview the Saints game. You're going to hear from Trace because he was just in New Orleans this past weekend watching the Saints. So as part of our preview, he's going to come on, then we're going to answer your questions. I'm going to start the segment without the mask, and then I'm going to put it on to give people that context. No, I'm just going to put it on for the whole thing. Just going to put it on for the whole thing. So we'll do that for our upcoming show here. I'm going to wear the Nacho Libre mask for our upcoming segment. Thanks to us getting past $100 in Super Chats. Would you accept the CMC trade from wide receiver Plug? What do you mean? The Niners already accepted it. It was awesome. It's a great trade. He's changed the offense. Black mask. How do you drink beers with the mask on? I was not able to do that last night. I had to take the mask off in order to drink those beers. Would you, though, from wide receiver Plug? Hell yeah. I said at the time I love the trade. Stack your roster with playmakers and elite players. That's what the Niners did. What'd you say? We didn't bring out the Miner hat today because we wanted to show you all the mask again. So we'll bring the Miner helmet back out for our Sunday watch party, which we're about to preview here, that game against the New Orleans Saints coming up. So no Miner helmet on today's show, but we have the mask.
Hey, Coffee, use hashtag 49ers with that question so we can get it on the show. It's a good question, my guy.
Yeah. Kofev, Coffee, use hashtag 49ers, and we'll get that question featured on the show. So do that for us, my man. Jonathan Hernandez, KC owns the Niners. Uh-oh, KC fans in the chat. Ray Sanchez, okay, I want that Miner hat. Well, the number to beat, $300 from Rick Nyers. The biggest single solo super chatter from Rick. That right there is a number to beat. All right, last segment of the show coming up right now. We're going to preview this game against the New Orleans Saints. Then we're going to answer your questions. Let's get to it right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Coming your way on today's show, we're going to preview Sunday's game against the New Orleans Saints and also take some of your questions from all of our loyal subscribers. But a reminder to tune into our Week 12 watch party this Sunday afternoon against the New Orleans Saints as San Francisco returns home for a 3-game homestand at the friendly confines of Levi Stadium. We'll be going live for a 30-minute pregame show starting at 3:55 p.m. Eastern, 12:55 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a blast. We'll be drinking beers. We'll have some Super Chat games cooked up, and it's going to be a lot of fun as the Niners look to put together a 4th consecutive win to get that record to 7-4. You take a look at the betting odds for this matchup. The Niners 2-score favorites, -9 according to the odds makers, and the over-under somewhat low at 43, but San Francisco should be able to run away with this football game because they match up very well against the New Orleans Saints. You look at how these two teams match up so far throughout 11 weeks. The New Orleans Saints averaging 22.5 points per game, 24 points allowed. They've been able to compile as an offense 371.5 total yards per game with 214 passing yards allowed. Rushing yards, 132.1. And then for the 49ers, points per game for that offense, 23.6, but it's trending toward 30 with Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. 17-plus points allowed for this great Niners defense. Total yards, 372.5, so a yard difference between the Niners and the Saints. But some of the metrics here obviously skewing toward the Niners. Rushing yards allowed, 81.1, and of course, points per game and points allowed in favor of the Niners as well. So with that, before we start taking your questions, who you got? SF for the San Francisco 49ers, and O for the New Orleans Saints. And another reminder to tune into our watch party, because during our Monday Night Football watch party against the Arizona Cardinals to celebrate the Niners playing in Mexico City, I brought out the Niners Nacho Libre mask, and because during our Tuesday live show we got past $100 in Super Chats, I made everybody a promise that if we got there, I would have to wear this for an entire segment. So I'm going to have to put it on right now and wear this throughout the show to start answering your questions. But first, we're going to welcome back on Trizzy Trace, because he was just in New Orleans in the Big Easy for this game for the New Orleans Saints last week as they came through with the big dub. He's a lifelong Saints fan. So, Trace, give us your side of the New Orleans Saints this year. Your thoughts on this team. Obviously, they've struggled and have failed to reach expectations with that expensive roster.
Yeah, well, obviously, to start off, it's beat LA, because the Lambs are a bunch of frauds, and they lost to the Saints, which is embarrassing. But with the Saints being as bad as they are, quarterback play is abysmal. It is an absolute joke. The only really big lights on our offense are Alvin Kamara, and he's even been playing a little bit in a slump this year. He has flashes of playing well. Chris Olave, the rookie wide receiver out of Ohio State, has been balling out, has been doing very, very well. He's been a big part of the offense for the New Orleans Saints, as well as Juwan Johnson, surprisingly so, has stepped up. But the biggest key for the 49ers defense, Nick Bosa, that defense has got to get after the quarterback, bring some pressure, because when Andy Dalton doesn't have time to throw the ball, he makes mistakes. He makes a lot of them. And on top of that, I think that the Saints defense can't really keep up with the Niners offense. They're beat up. They're injured. I really like the Niners in this game, and I'm saying that as a Saints fan. Of course, I want my team to win, but I don't know, man. It's going to be kind of tough if you ask me. I think it's going to be a good matchup, but I think the Niners are going to just absolutely run away with it without fail.
Yeah, the Saints are one of those sneaky teams that can be a sneaky difficult opponent. I just think the Niners have momentum working right now. They're playing really good football. I think they come up with their fourth straight win and pull away at the end. Another reminder, watch party begins with our live pregame show, 3:55 p.m. Eastern, 12:55 p.m. Pacific. And if you want excitement during our watch party like this, then make sure you subscribe and join us. Your questions on the other side of us telling you about the best, perfect, and most unique holiday gift this upcoming holiday season. It's Established Titles, and you can save an extra 10% off for the perfect holiday gift if you head to establishedtitles.com/chat. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on this historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number right here on this private estate in Edelston, Scotland. That comes with an official certificate with the crest, which we're showing you right now. And because I purchased my title pack and I am now a landowner in Edelston, Scotland, I have this certificate at my house, and I am now named Lord Chase Sr. What's also cool, you can include that title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, and dating profiles. This makes for a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using our link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a Lord or a Lady, we can build our own Niners Report Kingdom. A great last-minute gift. They are running a massive early Black Friday sale with discounts on their site of up to 80% off. Plus, you could save an extra 10% off if you head to establishedtitles.com/chat. Use the promo code chat to save a plot of Scottish land right next to me. Tisha, with the $2 donation, really appreciate your support of the show. Is it too early to think about the NFL draft? No, it's never too early. Organizations in professional sports, as well as businesses out there, the good ones, they always look ahead. They always plan ahead. Now, Kyle Shanahan isn't really looking at draft prospects right now. The front office is, as well as the entire scouting department for the Niners, positions of need for San Francisco. I'd like to see them draft a center who can be a starter right away, if not very, very soon. They might go after cornerback once again. They might go after safety if Jimmy Ward leaves. They could look after that defensive line or try to get their next right tackle. Those are the positions that I'm looking at for San Francisco to target in the 2023 NFL Draft. G-Code, $5 Super Chat. I love this. Aiyuk is like the middle child, always forgotten. B.A. is the best offensive player. He has older brothers like Debo and Kittle. Christian McCaffrey is younger and the more popular brothers. And you make a good point, right? Brandon Aiyuk is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL right now. Over the last 5 games, he's been averaging really, really quality numbers. 5 touchdowns over his last 5 games. And you're completely right. Debo, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Jimmy Garoppolo, they get all of the hype with this Niners offense when, in fact, Aiyuk has been the number 1 wide receiver this entire season ahead of Debo Samuel, and he's on pace to potentially get past 1,000 receiving yards for the first time in his career. And with him entering the final year of his contract next year, he's earning himself some money right now with how he's playing. G-Code with another donation. Don't sign Jimmy Garoppolo. He needed the bag the first year with the Niners. After signing, he was bad. He knew he got the money. He's in a contract year trying to get that final bag. I just want consistency and solid play from that quarterback position on a Niners team that has a Super Bowl capable roster. And if Trey Lance ain't that guy, the Niners could be in trouble, and they're in the worst spot that you could be in the NFL. What is that? Looking for a quality quarterback. G-Code with another donation. G-Code, G-Code. Thanks for supporting the show, man. CMC made Jimmy Garoppolo money a comfort blanket for checkdowns. And that's something I've talked about. Christian McCaffrey, as a pass catcher, as a runner, has made this offense better, a more all-around unit since he's been with the Niners and active. Their offense is one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. When he starts games, the Niners are now 4-0, and he just brings the best out of everybody, and it's a look that opposing defenses always have to account for. If McCaffrey's in the backfield by himself, you're obviously looking at him. You could go split back with him and Debo, him in the slot. He's such a clean route runner from that slot spot. This guy, as I've continued to reiterate, should be thought of as more of a weapon and less as a running back, and he certainly brought the best out of Jimmy Garoppolo as well. 16-Bar King is back. Bars coming for the faithful. 16-Bar King always spitting those bars. I'm looking forward to what he has to spit. 16-Bar King, you are the king. You're like a diamond, bling bling. BK from the Bay. Chase, who in your mind will replace D'Amico Ryans when he gets a head coaching job? It could be Chris Kosarek, the defensive line coach, if they want to go internal. He's been just spectacular at developing defensive line talent. It could be another guy, external, who the Niners have familiarity with, in Vic Fangio, who's currently a consultant with the Philadelphia Eagles. But going back to what Tisha said earlier, I imagine the Niners starting to look ahead in that regard as well. David Blanco, how about 3 conservative second-half shutouts by this Niners defense? All year, outside of the Atlanta game when they were banged up in Kansas City, when they were banged up and Patrick Mahomes was just on a different level, it's been the best defense in the NFL. At all 3 levels, they're great. Defensive line, middle and outside linebacker, cornerbacks have played well. Diamador Lenore played really good ball against Arizona. He played really well against Cooper Kupp earlier in the year. He's been a pleasant surprise after Emmanuel Mosley went down. Charvarius Mooney-Ward continues to play great football. And Jimmy Ward and Talanoa Hufon got that safety spot. They're good as well. Pandango Gaming. Jimmy G is like that kid from Rookie of the Year. Broke his shoulder after surgery, and now he's the MVP. This is not a hyperbolic statement, folks. Jimmy G has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL over the last month. You look at his numbers the last 4 games. Good job by producer Trizzy Trace for pulling this up. He's completed more than 71% of his passes for more than 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick, yards per attempt, 8.45, and a quarterback rating nearly flawless at 115.7. So with that, I want to ask you this because a lot of people are asking about Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Would you re-sign Jimmy G? R for re-sign, W for walk. Let us know in the comment section. Hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your weekends and make sure you tune into our watch party on Sunday. All right. How about it? Grade the mask. It's going to be our new poll question. Best team in the NFC is our poll question right now. 88% Niners, 7% Eagles, 2% Vikings, 3% Cowboys. And how about this one? Grade the 49ers mask. That's going to be our new poll question. I think it's pretty elite, honestly. And I lasted the entire show pretty much wearing this mask. It gets a little hot in here, but it is fun. Evan Hinders is back. Words of wisdom. Chris Madsen. Jay Jones. Would you re-sign Alex Smith when he left is the question. Same situation for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not a bad point from Jay Jones. All right, I'm going to take this mask off. Grade the Niners mask. A, B, C, D, or F. Right here. Myself and George Kittle, we were identical with this yesterday. I'll send Trace the picture here.
Hey, also, so I see a bunch of people in the chat saying, because I'm a Saints fan, I should wear a paper bag for the watch party. Here's the deal. If we can get up to $200, I'll do it. If we can get up to $200 in super chats, I can make that happen. We're at we're at 132. So got some work to do, $68, I think, something like that. So if we get to $200, I'll rock the paper bag.
Let's go.
I'm not afraid.
Let's do it. Can't be scared out here. All right, so I sent Trizzy that picture of myself and George Kittle. Once I show you the picture, I'm going to take the mask off. But rocking this to celebrate the Niners playing in Mexico City last night. It's pretty elite, isn't it? It's pretty elite.
That is so good, bro.
$200. We're at 132, and Trace will wear a paper bag on Sunday because he's a Saints fan. That's what we'll do for the homies.
I will say this. If the Niners want to absolutely ensure that they lock down the Saints, you have to do everything you can to limit Taysom Hill from having any sort of role. Because now that he's started getting going, he's kind of the only thing about the offense worth a shit.
No doubt. If you're scared, go to church. I love that, Ray. So who did it better? Who did it better? What's funny is that the real ones who were watching us last week know that I had said, look, we get $50 in super chats. I'm going to buy this mask. I'm going to wear it during the watch party. We got $400 in super chats. We bought the mask. And then George Kittle showed up to Estadio Azteca rocking a very similar mask to me, and our outfits were almost identical. Now, if I cut off my sleeves and then I put on, some red sleeves underneath it, it would have been flawless, but the mask very similar. The sweatshirt's very similar, and both wearing black pants. Who did it better?
I'm still trying to figure out which one is George Kittle and which one's Chase.
That's pretty good stuff right there. Gotta love it, man. Kittle looks scrawny next to you. That's good stuff. I don't know. He wasn't running like a scrawny boy after the catch last night. He was balling. No doubt about that. Got to add some muscle myself. But we're getting there. All right, we're going to put the 2-minute shot clock on here for any super chats that come in. If you send in a super chat, we'll get you on the show. No more super chats inside 2 minutes. We already reached our goal of 132. We wanted to get to 100. So that's all we had to do for today. Not asking for any donations to come in, but if you want to donate to the show, we'll give you a 2-minute shot clock for that. and we'll read those and stay live for a little bit. If not, we'll just sign off. 4 segments down in the canister. 16-bar king.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
$5 super chat. Resetting the shot clock here. Resetting the shot clock. 16-bar king. Angry Birds flew south into a no-fly zone. Crossed the border. Niner gang still Patron. Boss. That is pretty damn good. Clap it up for 16-bar king.
Bars.
Clap it up for 16-bar king.
Bars.
That's good stuff, man. Evan Hinder, should I buy the 49ers Cardinals ticket so I can tag you along? That'd be awesome, man. But I would have to fly out there, and I wouldn't be able to do a watch party. And so many people rely on us to do the watch parties. That's the only downfall of that, Evan. I'd love to go to a game with you, maybe at some point. Tommy Huxley, what's up, partner? What up, Tommy? Hope you're doing well, man. We're wrapping up the show. 4 segments in the can. Talk Jimmy G, Niners performance last night. Where Jimmy G could go next year. We previewed the Saints game. It's been an awesome live show, no doubt. Did you see the pic of Canelo with Fred Warner? I did not see that. I'll have to look out for that. Another super chat. We reset the shot clock. $2 from G-Code. That gets us to 140. 60 more, and Trace will wear a paper bag as a Saints fan during our watch party on Sunday.
Yeah, G-Code, I know what it's supposed to say, my guy.
There it is.
I've been in pain, too. I wasn't alive for the Aints, but I know.
Arch Manning back in the day, right? Saints throwback jersey paper bag written Aints. He'll do it if we get the $200. We're 60 away now.
Those Saints throwback jerseys this week were freaking fresh. I wish I could have got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Tommy Huxley, sorry, I was running errands. Hate to be late. It's all good, brother. Much love. Trap game on Sunday. I don't think so. This is a banged-up New Orleans team. It's not a game that you can afford to lose. You get the 7-4 going into Miami, you're sitting pretty nice. You're sitting real nice. How about them Niners? Chase, give me a Penta El Zero Miedo. What does that mean? Because I said the F word early on and I didn't even know. Let's see. I'm going to look up the translation here. No fear? Zero fear? Is that what it means?
Can't be scared.
Can't be scared? I love that. Penta El Zero Mieta! No fear. Did I say it right, words of wisdom? I think I said it right. Ray Sanchez! 40 away! Ray! Penta's Kittle's favorite wrestler. His mask was Pentas. Nice. But wait, was Fred Warner really with Canelo? I saw the picture of George Kittle. That was sick. Words of wisdom, we'll let it go. I tried. 40 away, and I have to reset the shot clock. 40 away from Trace wearing a paper bag and an Aints jersey during our Sunday watch party. We'll reset the shot clock. 40 away. Wide receiver plug. Are you trying to annoy me? No, never. Do you think the Niners are underrated or overrated? I think that they are underrated. I think that they have a Super Bowl capable roster. I've said this all year. They're finally looking like that Super Bowl caliber team right now. And nationally, I think some people are buying into the Niners. Other national media types are not. I think they should be buying into San Francisco because I do think they're legit. Hot take from Tommy. 45 seconds into our shot clock. $40 away from putting Trace into a paper bag and an Aints jersey on Sunday. High five. Chiefs own the Niners. Remember Super Bowl 54? Bring Harrison in. I do remember. I'm not sure where Harry's at. Let me see. I might be able to pull him in. Harry, somebody wants you. Somebody wants you in here. We're bringing in Harry. You know High Five? Is High Five a big commenter on the Chiefs report? He said bring Harry in.
I don't remember. I haven't seen High Five in a while.
Chiefs own the Niners. Remember Super Bowl 54? Bring Harry in.
What's up, High Five? I haven't seen you recently. Have you been commenting?
Yeah. What's up, High
I
Five?
don't know.
We brought in Harry for you.
Go Chiefs.
There you go. Chris Madsen, nationally, they are hotter than the Cowboys, or hotter on the Cowboys than the Niners. Why? Because it's the Cowboys, Chris. That's why. That's why. All right, 20 seconds left to get any Super Chats in. If we get any Super Chats, we'll stay alive. And we are $40 away from Trace wearing a paper bag. So 20 seconds left. Soon we'll do the countdown at 10, and then we'll allow the delay to come in. Words of wisdom, Trizzy with the chops and Harry living up to his name with the beard. It's an unbelievable beard. You saw me last week have that mustache. That's about as best as I can do. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll let the delay last about 20 seconds because some people are watching on delay. Plain Hickory saying, go Bears. We just got your boy Harry. We just got your boy Harry. All right, another reminder, if we don't get any more Super Chats in, we'll sign off here. $40 away. Trace and the Aints paper bag mask on Sunday for our watch party. It'll be Niners Saints Sunday afternoon. Our pregame show starts at 3:55 p.m. Eastern, 12:55 p.m. Pacific. We'll get those sex spots out of there. Chris Hansen, Bears are a joke. They are, and they've been for a long time, but they did beat the Niners, so we got to eat the crow on that. Chris Borg saying go Niners. Plain Hickory, go Niners as well. Appreciate all the Super Chats that got us past $100 to rock the Nacho Libre mask for that segment. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody for sending in a donation last night as well. Even though it's the holiday stretch coming up with Thanksgiving, Black Friday, still going to be giving you videos every single day on the Niners on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, watch party on Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Appreciate everybody who tuned in, and we'll catch you next time here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Don't forget to subscribe.